Fire responses, we had 49 calls for the month of August. Total loss of $75,000 with 6 general alarms. Year to date, we had 331, totaling just almost just over 7.8 million with 19 general alarms. Year to date has dropped, not considerably, but noticeably, to about a 9% drop of 362 year to date from over this time last year. For the month of August, 652 EMS calls. Year to date was 5,637, which is an increase of roughly 400 calls over this time last year, of 5,267 with a 7% increase. Yes, so you'll know from August 4th to 7th, 11th to the 14th, 18th to the 21st, and 25th to the 28th, the liquor store, in fact, was closed. The weekend that it opened up on September long, we had an increase of 108% in calls for service, 4 of which were stabbings and 3 of which were domestic assaults. Of those 5,622 calls, 2,040 were primary calls to Thompson, which would relate to a 36.2% of total calls. Of those 2,040 calls, 40% were to Thompson residents. TFES is projected based on year-to-date responses to the end of the year, roughly 9,000 total responses. This would equate to roughly a 66% increase in total call volume since 2010. End of year total responses for that year were 5,418 compared to the projected 9,000 for this year. The reason for this is significant, and I'll stand corrected, but I believe in 2010 was the last time that TFES received a staffing level increase, increasing our minimum manning going from 3 to 5. So while our responses have gone up 66% since 2010, our staffing levels have remained the same, which is leading to extensive overtime and causing burnout among staff, which I'm sadly to report one of our members has resigned due to being burnt out. In fact, he is stepping away from the emergency scenes altogether and going into the concrete business with his brother. Overtime from January to the end of August for 2023 totaled 5,732.25 hours, which translates to $582,151.81 compared to 2022 of 2,421.25 hours at a cost of $306,000. Basically, overall increase of 52% over the previous year, which directly are the causes of our staffing levels and our increased calls for service. We still have the vacancy rate of 20% downstairs. Our vacancy rate downstairs, even though we had 2 new hires last month, we still have 4 vacancies, hard vacancies, as the inspector would call it. We have 1 that was on leave of absence, a mandatory leave, 1 on WCP. I'm happy to report that those 2 firebrands have since returned back to work. We still have 1 that's off on maternity. She's expected to return in January. We also had a conditional offer sent out to our HR department for 3 to 4 candidates that we interviewed. I'm disappointed to report that 2 of the candidates have failed the copper exam, which means they don't have a paramedic license, and the third one that we offered a conditional offer to has accepted a position work outside the province. So that leaves us back to square one with respect to our resource pool. We had the opportunity in early August to, whether you know it, Inspector Moreau, but we worked with the GIS unit along with the Public Investigations Committee to serve notice to 2 homes under the Fortified Detentions Act here in Thompson. And what that means is they have basically fortified the entrance of their home, which is a contravention to the Fortified Detentions Act, which is basically enforced by the local police department. So we had the opportunity to go out and do some educational piece with myself, Deputy Sweeney, and the building inspector with 2 local homes. But More importantly, we also targeted 2 businesses downtown, specifically Walmart and Dollarama, with the sales of intoxicants to our vulnerable population. So we spoke to them on August 3rd with respect to selling the intoxicants underneath the cash register between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. each morning. They alluded to the fact that they would stop, try to curb the sale of those intoxicants. Dollarama stopped it immediately. We revisited Walmart less than a week ago, and they admitted to the fact that they're still selling. So we're working with the Department of Justice Public Inspection Branch, Kevin Dooley and Travis. Forgive me. They're coming back up, and we're looking at potentially levying a fine at the corporate level for Walmart totaling $50,000 for the sale and use of intoxicants to our vulnerable population. A lot of education went down with respect to the usage of common sense, but they're in contravention of their own policies and procedures with respect of any type of mouthwash, hand sanitizer, thank you, containing alcohol should be locked up and whatnot. The resolution was passed, as you all know, on August 14th by Council for repairs for Ladder 180. The repairs will be completed off-site at Seahawk in Carmen, Manitoba. The City of Thompson will be boarding a ladder truck from Winnipeg Fire Emergency Services Chief Schmidt. Services at no cost other than the applicable insurances for the interim while the repairs are being made to Ladder 180. The expected time for the truck that will be out of service is approximately 2 weeks, and we are still on target with next week with that starting to transpire. Multiple members of TFES, both current and auxiliary, attended the 2023 World Police and Fire Games in Winnipeg from July 28th to August 6th. Some of our members noted here: Lieutenant Holly finished 4th in the overall Ultimate Firefighters Challenge. Firefighter LeBonte participated in flag football and received bronze, and Firefighter Valentino received a silver medal in men's hockey, which was comprised mostly of our local RCP. A good report on the 27th of August. Firefighter LeBonte and our new firefighter Water delivered a healthy baby girl here in Thompson.